this will be my ambush point. So things like Abu Toby 20 gram would be good here. I'll show you what we got. These sort of things. This sort of thing. Savage gear. This is a good lure, that thing there. This is a good lure. Savage gear surf seeker. These little things imitate the food they're eating. What else have we got? Some poppers and things. Abu Toby 20 gram. Probably start with that. That's a good lure. So we'll just, if it's slow, we can just mix the lures up a bit. That there, I do actually have some mini sand eel feathers as well. So what we'll do, I always keep my reel in the box so I don't damage it. It's quite an expensive reel, this one. This is the Vanford. Bit of grit in the handle there, I don't like that. It's not too bad. So I might, because it's so clear, I might put on a little fluorocarbon trace with it. Just keep it in the rod bag. We'll put the rod bag away in a minute. Rod there, carefully don't tread on the rod. Oh. Stay there. Put this away so it can't go anywhere. So you can just, where it's dry behind me, you can just have the stuff sitting on the... Oh dear. Have it just sitting on the sand behind me. That one clever. Things like that. So let's put that in there like that. That's the 2,500 HG, so that's in there like that. We just you don't want to hear any sand or anything sort of getting in there. So I'll just move to here so I'll be able to show you what I put on. What I put on. He says so. A little clip. So some good little clips in here. Which I just started to use. Don't show it very well. I brought these off Savage Gear, but I think if you went on somewhere like Temu, you'd find them on there for about 99p. So, bit of a cost saving for you there, for all your tackle. So this knot with braid, that's the most important knot, and the wind's just preventing me from doing it properly. So you just have to persevere with it when it's like this. Very frustrating. Big enough hole with the braid. Yeah, so it's gone through once. Come on. So that's like that. That's okay, but I would like to go through one more time. One more round, one more time there. Right, that's it. That's all. Just slide that down like that. That's usually pretty good. That's just a glorified blood knot. Now we're looking for some scissors. Ow, and I've got a hook in my hand. Oh. So I brought some bigger hooks as well, just in case I could run into some sand eel and I want to fish a live sand eel. So I've got a pair of pliers with snips on, but I like to use braid scissors, which are these ones. So careful not to snip your main line, been done before. Find your bit of... And that's it. Like that. And then you've got to make a decision on what lure you're going to use. So here, for a start, you've got wind in your face there. So we'll start with a 20-gram lure. Start with a 20-gram lure. Oops. Only thing about these clips, they can be a little bit awkward just to sort of open. They sort of spin because it's a rotating swivel with them inbuilt. They sort of spin away from what you're trying to do, so you just have to be patient in these stages. It's always difficult when you're enthusiastic when you first get down and start a session. You just got to try and slow it down. That's it, that's in there like that. That's the Abu Toby. We'll see how we get on with that. I've got a 26-gram lure there, that might be better. It just looks a little bit big at the minute, so we just start small and work your way up. See how we get on. It's really sort of seeing what feels right, if I'm brutally honest. So what we're going to do, we're going to put on a Savage Gear weedless, weedy. So what we're going to do, take this off. As much as I like the Toby in these conditions, and that's what I want to be using, there's just too much weed coming in on the treble there. So pop that in there, we'll put it on later. Hopefully it'll clear, but in the meantime, this thing shouldn't. So we're just having a little bit of a rest at the minute because there's just a bit of weed there, but I'm just swapping over to a new hook. I noticed it was a bit blunt. Always checking things because you can do all sorts of weird stuff, like you can put the same hook bag on, there's all sorts of weird things can happen. But this one's a little bit more worn, you see. It might make a difference. Greaves are diving like that. They are, you know, that's when the bats will be there too. Alright. That's a brilliant lure, it's got lovely action, that is. It's just the weed which is spoiling it at the minute. It's just lovely being out here doing it. down batting the weed at the minute. Just hoping that we'll get a bit of respite. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We can go on top of the water. Go top water. Why don't we do that? Hey? Why don't we go top water? Can't fish underneath. I want to. It's just that with surface lures, it's more, for me, it's when there's more like mackerel around, and it's still a bit cold for that. It's not, they're not here yet. In the summer months I'll go poppers, or late August, once the mackerel have been here. They've been used to seeing them. But there's no reason why they won't take that. It's nice and shiny. So let's give it a go. So just a bit of a summary on the Wells Harbour. This was the first time I've actually fished it. I've been there a few times. It was the first time I've actually fished it. Read up a bit about it, and talks about being further towards the mouth entrance, the bit of beach up there, fishing that area with an incoming tide for your bass, and being careful not to be cut off by the tide was one of the comments, but it was the incoming tide bit which they were talking about. It's quite an interesting place, really. It reminds me of a river in New Zealand, almost spitting image with those trees over the side there, the width. I was fortunate enough to still be there. This was at the incoming bit of tide. I was fortunate enough to be at that harbour entrance just as the tide had turned and was going the other way. I was there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. And I felt like, yes, the incoming tide was good, but I also felt like the top half of the ebb was pretty good as well. It was very clear there. It looked quite deep. I think if the fish are there, on a good tide, I think that could be a really good place. This is a good spot to go to when the early season as well. This part of the coast is riddled with difficulties getting clear water for your lure fishing in the places where you really want to fish. It may only come clear just a few tides in May, June sort of time. No problem in the summer months and sort of August and September and stuff like that. But this would be a good early season venue. But you need the fish to be there. And that sort of points towards being on biggish tides, so to speak. But this spot here is a lot further down inside the harbour, but there's no reason why you couldn't get stuff there. I think when it's high tide and you couldn't get further up to the mouth entrance, this would be a good spot to go. Is problems here with weed? When I was fishing here, it was riddled with weed. And poppers, yes, I think if there's plenty of fish there, I think you could probably get them on poppers. But as I say in the video, the mackerel really need to have been sort of there for them to sort of recognise them a bit, but you never know. There's a good rattle in the bug, so yeah, weed's a bit of an issue, so you could go down to a single hook, something like that. Yeah, there wasn't so much weed at the harbour entrance, which you'll see in a little bit with a few of the clips, and it's quite deep there. Yeah, I mean, for me it's a little bit further to drive than other spots, but if we wanted to do some early season lure fishing, then this would be a place you could go, definitely. There's a lifeboat hut just to my left, and just in front of there where there's a ramp, I think that would be a good spot to go to if you turned up and it was high water or it was such a big tide. That's another thing I just want to mention. When the tides are big, you can't really get up there. I think this was the weekend when I think 6 or 7 people were actually rescued by the RNLI
and I think one of the boats actually went past me with them actually in. But no, this is right at the front of the channel, and this is just starting to ebb. But it looked really clear. It looked quite. There's lots of shelves and drop-offs. It did look really good. If the fish are there, this would be a really good spot to go. No question about that. Could have done with my waders. But I just find trainers just so much easier on, walking about comfy on. I like to be comfy when I'm fishing. So even a boat would anchored up there, you see, because it was too rough for him to get out. But he'd anchored up in a spot which was quite deep. So he obviously knew something. He knew that it was that was a good area to try. You see all the weed on the beach, look, just causing a problem. But it wasn't too bad when I was fishing up here. But there just wasn't any fish on this tide. It wasn't a fantastic tide. It was just I just wanted to go there and just give it a look. But I think on a few tides when the fish are there, no problems at all. But the read up doesn't mention very big bass, but there's no reason why you couldn't pick up just as good a size fish here as anywhere along the coast, really. Just whether they're in or not. But it's a lovely day. Nice to be out there. This was a Sunday, so it wasn't the most pleasant day, as there's plenty of people around and stuff like that. But hey ho, it was still a pleasant day. And so yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry we didn't catch a fish, but a lot of trips are like that. But thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and I'll see you later.